sitting there like, man, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reggie Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother Wild Man Teddy T, a.k.a. Baron Theo Mound-builder.
Hey, yo, what's happening?
Chilling, man. So we last left you on video mix. Sleepy Joe had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, Sleepy Joe said, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. He said, man, you know, you guys don't have Sleepy Joe to push around no more. You know, now I'm going straight dark Brandon. Going straight dark Brandon. And I'm about to just start doing things, you know, y'all suckers never dreamed of. Boy, I'm about to make it hot. I'm about to make it hot for y'all. So he says, I am not running. And I want y'all to support. I fully endorse Vice President Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So the sister is getting it. The sister is getting it every which way, bro. She's getting it, man. From being a DEI hire to being the most liberal, had the most liberal voting record in the Senate, to just yesterday, bruh, she is Miss Hawk Tour, bruh.
Nah, Miss Hawk.
Yes, man. Yo, bro, come on, man. Like, this is a very serious election. Both sides are saying how serious this is. So, Hawk Tour, DEI, man, that's not productive, that's not conducive, you know, but I do like the contrast, because Sleepy Joe, bro, he just, you know, you saw it, he was trying to get it out, he wasn't getting the words out fast enough.
He was dead in the water.
Yeah, man, it just wasn't looking good for Joe Biden, man, you know. So right now, you know, he's having an uptick, because now that, hey, he's not running anymore, folks are, you know, giving him a little credit, so I think that's going to help, you know, with his legacy, and it's going to help with Kamala's, you know, whether or not it helps with getting, you know, white male voters, not so much. Whether, you know, what I've seen thus far is she is up 8 points with black voters. So she's already gotten, you know, some brothers and sisters off the sidelines, some brothers and sisters who were supporting Trump, who already said, you know what, I'm rocking with her.
8 points in what relativity? Compared to
blacks, to
compared
Biden,
to what Biden had?
to what Biden had. So
Okay.
she has an 8 point uptick where Biden was, right? She also has.
I think she's gonna need a lot more than that.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I certainly agree. However, you know, it's doable depending on who she picks. Now, some of my good friends, you know, say they should get Shapiro from Pennsylvania, but then are you setting yourself up to lose Michigan? Because Michigan has a very, very high Muslim population, and so, you know, that whole contingency, Jews and black women, will she be able to, you know, cobble that back together again? We shall see. She came out with her first ad. She's trying to frame the argument, the prosecutor versus the convict, the prosecutor versus the felon. We'll see. But your boy Trump just don't play fair, right? He don't play fair, man. He just came out and called her garbage.
Ooh.
Bruh.
Welcome to the big leagues. Come on.
Is that what it is? You just say, hey, welcome to the, hey, you know what? It's a heavyweight fight. It's a welcome. That's just that's a shot over the bow.
The kitty gloves are off.
It's just, bruh, you're garbage. Like, hey, I guess that's just where we are right now. He did have Hulk Hogan at the convention last week. Hulk Hogan did, for the Hulkamaniacs, he did come out and bust out the shirt. And he had a little hard time coming out the shirt.
Did you see Hulk Hogan has dropped this new beer called Real American Beer, and he had a woman that was endorsing the beer. He met her on social media, and when she came to the location and he saw that she was black, he fired her right after that. So now they're doing this whole thing about ban the they're banning the not banning, what is it, that when they boycotting the beer now.
Boycott a beer we never heard of.
Right.
Gotcha. That'll be easy.
Don't let it get started, they're saying.
That'll be easy. That'll be easy, man. But I feel slightly better about the situation. Not saying who's gonna win or lose. I just feel slightly better about the situation because I'm feeling that the actual issues will be litigated and they'll be talked about. Because, bruh, tell me the last time President Biden spoke and you weren't holding your breath. Just like, you know what I mean? Like, bruh, don't for any of you who've ever had to give an Easter speech, the way your parents over there, and then sometimes your homeboy just forget his lines. And then the old ladies, in the corner, they just say, Jesus wept. I guess y'all ain't grew up like I grew up, right? But they just say, baby, Jesus wept, baby. Jesus wept. and just go ahead, move on. And that's what it is, man. They're saying that, I don't think it's gotten to the 25th Amendment point. For those of you not familiar with the 25th Amendment, but essentially it's a cabinet level decision where the cabinet convenes and basically says, he can't, he's a danger to himself and the nation, and he just can't handle it, and we basically vote him out. I don't think that. He gave a speech yesterday. Did anybody watch the speech? I caught the speech at 8 o'clock. He basically just said, it was a lot of honesty in it. Joe has always been pretty honest, and I think in part is due to that whole plagiarism issue that he had when he ran for president back in '88, where basically when he was, doing all these eloquent quotes, and we didn't have internet back then, so fact checking, was a little whatever. But I guess somebody was like, "Hey, those are all Lord Chamberlain's words." Like, huh? Lord Chamberlain was the British Prime Minister before World War II, the one that struck all the deals with Hitler, basically saying, "Hey, man, Hitler gonna leave us alone. He just gonna roll up in there," and he gave us his word that they have no more vision of expansion. And then Blitzkrieg came along, and Hitler just started taking Poland, and he bombed England. So Lord Chamberlain was out. However, so Biden, I think because of that, and because of that embarrassment, I think he's always, proofreading and fact-checking himself as he's speaking. And I think that experience was tragic, bro. So much so, and you combine that with having a stutter, you know what I mean, and aging, it's too much. It's just too much going on at the same time. So when it comes out, it's looking like Buddy just is like on some Forrest Gump type, just don't look right. Can we just say, like, just don't feel right, don't look right, and and he just didn't have the desire to be out there doing these speeches, and just didn't have the desire to be. The man, 81 years old, bruh. He 81 years old. The man's been in politics 50 years. Bro, tired, man. He tired. Brother done had a lot of tragedy, you know, and I think he just want to go back to Delaware. I think he want to hit jail two times a week. 2 times a week with, you know, just bunch of vanilla ice cream and just, you know what I mean? Just
enjoy it.
And just,
just
enjoy it.
Oh.
Enjoy it for a minute. Bruh, you know what I'm saying? He's like, man, you really don't enjoy the presidency until you're done. And I guess he's like, man, I want to have some time. I want to have some time to enjoy it, bro. Obama, every time you see Obama, he looks so tan. Bro looks so tan, man. Bro, like he got, boy.
Looking good.
Bro, it's like he got chicks all over the world. You know what I mean? It's like, Obama's coming in. You know, what's his name on the road? Barry?
Barry. It's Barry.
Barry coming. Barry swinging through. You know what I mean? Tell the Secret Service they're on that special duty. They know what that is. They're on that special duty. Barry coming through. You know what I mean?
You think Kamala got a chance?
She does.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely.
Really?
She absolutely
Hell
does.
You got a better chance than Joe?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
for me,
does. They're running right now, the polls.
Yeah.
And the last poll that came out was from July. They haven't even gone to the convention yet. She hasn't even picked her running mate yet. So you can anticipate, bro, they're already a week after the Republican convention. Coming out of the convention, you always get a bump. So the problem there is that their whole convention was destroying Joe and everything about Joe, all their money, they ads, all that stuff, whatever. They've been on Joe. So now, bro, they done spent all that money at the convention to be like, now we got to get ready for her, and she has all the momentum right now. Remember how Joe Biden, in my opinion, got elected in 2020, COVID. Because had it not been for COVID, he would have had to be out there on the campaign trail. Remember the complaints? The complaints back then is like, old Joe campaigning from his basement. He from the bunker. He from the basement. So speed, I think, is in their favor. So they got to get to California. They got to get all the opposition research. They got to get, all this other stuff they need to do. And they just are just putting their feet so heavily in their mouths, bruh. She was, I'm watching Fox, right? So Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, went to the Zeta Phi Beta National Convention, bruh. You know how it was referred to on Fox News? That, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in town and he's addressing a joint session of Congress, and she's supposed to have her black ass up there, presiding. She's supposed to, as the vice president, you preside preside over the Senate.
Right.
So when there's a joint session, they're like, she's supposed to be there, but no, she's not there. But she had a meeting with Netanyahu planned today, right after President Biden's one-on-one meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, meeting with her. So it's like, what I'm gonna be in there for? Talking with him when we want a ceasefire and quiet is kept. We really want him out of power, right? So no, I'm not gonna give him the respect of coming in there for that. But I talked to him one-on-one because Israel is our number one ally in the Middle East. But they said she's instead, meeting, giving a speech at some sorority, some colored sorority. Colored.
Oh, wow.
Colored sorority, like, as is, again, when I talk about fraternities and sororities, right, the way my white colleagues tend to think about fraternities and sororities is like, when I was in college, I was in a fraternity, I was in a sorority, not understanding that fraternities and sororities are lifetime commitments in the black community. And so Zeta Phi Beta is one of the largest, and so they're having a national convention, and so she's there at the convention. But they refer to as like, oh, you couldn't get out of that. Like you couldn't get out of this, like some college. They're thinking like she has some college sorority house, like some college sorority house for colored girls. Like you can't make this stuff out, bro. And they calling her, the Hop Tour, basically saying like, she done smashed her way, to the top. And she just every negative stereotype you can give for a black female, they just falling in that trap. And the biggest trap that I've been saying for a few weeks right now is the DEI is the huge trap, because with the DEI, that includes women. That includes gays, right? Because DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is basically like, people who get upset because you got to identify your pronouns. That's not something that I grew up with, but it's like, hey, I'm folks I do business with out of California, that's just how it goes now. Like when you get the email block from folks from California that's in corporate, like it's like, what are your pronouns? It's like he, him, like, and I'm like, yo, what is? And when I first saw it, bro, I'm like, man, what is this? I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? And it's like, hey, man, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is, man. So, I think she has a shot, the best shot that a black female has ever had, and the best shot that a black female will have in the foreseeable future.
Okay. What percentage you gonna put on it?
I think she got a 48% chance.
I mean,
you think she got a 40?
48%.
I mean, you
got a 40?
I think she got a 48%. Bro, the election, no matter who is in it, the election is going to come down to 2 or 3 percentage points. We're a divided country, bro. That's just reality of the situation, bro.
I mean, I feel that more people are going to even vote more than Obama.
Potentially.
I believe more people are going to, like, I didn't vote the first time until Obama, and I'm going to vote again now because Camilla and the medical and the marijuana. I got to vote, you know.
And I think, like you said, there may be more women, especially suburban housewives who, the Nikki Haley, the non-Trumpers, the folks who basically, because think about it. You're going to be, I would say there's a 40%, Trump's going to get 40% of the vote, period. Like, the election was held right now, he got 40% of the vote. The issue's going to be with the folks who are persuadable. The ones who are persuadable, Biden cannot persuade anybody. He would have to just stand and have people talk for him, speak for him, and basically say, he's done this, he's done that. He's one of the most consequential presidents in our lifetime based on, what he's done. And he's done some things, bro. You talk about, insulin being capped at $35 a month. That is huge. That's huge. Cancellation of student loans, for some, it was awesome. It got reversed. Why did it get reversed? It got reversed because folks knew that would have been a big effing deal. As Biden said when Obama got the Affordable Care Act passed. He's like, yo, bro, this is a big effing deal because once people get used to it, ain't no way you're going to be able to take it back. Ain't no way you're going to be able to take it back. And that's what, the Republicans was really going heavy, trying to repeal and replace and all that because they knew Once people get locked in, and who are the number one recipients of Obamacare? Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
Like all around here in Hialeah, bro, all the signs you see, Obamacare, 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 Obamacare. You know what I mean? Like they getting paid.
Yeah.
They getting so paid off of that, bro.
They got those whole buildings, the trucks that they got. There's a whole Latin medical center by my house. They got 15 trucks, all Latin.
And just think about all the impediments, bro. Like the state of Florida, for instance. The state of Florida put in an impediment where they wouldn't even expand Medicaid. They wouldn't expand it, and the government offered them the money. Like, when do you know of a state that's turning down money? And now, so you talking about over 10 years, this disaster ain't never happened. So for 10 years, the state of Florida didn't expand Medicaid and therefore missed out on all that bread, all that money, because they just did not want to give President Obama a win, you know. And that's the thing, bro. I think she'll be able to litigate the case if she stays on point, and as long as no video emerges of her getting trained out, you know what I mean? Because you can't have, you know, the president, you know, getting, you know what I mean? Every orifice being filled. Like, you can't have that. As long as they keep Montel Williams under control, who was her ex-boyfriend. As long as you remember Montel Williams from the Montel Williams show? As long as he don't come out and talk about some wild LA parties, you know what I mean? I think he'll be all right. As long as he don't come out saying that one time we went to Sean Puffy Combs' house.
You gonna end up on that Freak News documentary.
Oh, man. You know, I do have a photo. With some bros from my chapter, you know, with her in there. She looks mighty comfortable.
Well, y'all a lot more optimistic than I am.
Well, what's your thing? Just that it's a female and a black female, and folks just not gonna vote for a black female?
In this climate, I don't think so. I think well, her base is Democrats are already getting 90% of the black female vote from Biden.
But they want to, like I said, she's already up 8 points from where, and it hadn't even been a week. It hadn't even been a week, and she's up. She has to get a good running mate. She needs to get somebody from Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Wisconsin that's gonna come out there and put the people at ease. Same thing Obama had to do in 2012. In 2012, and this is how I ended up at Strongarm Inside, because Flo performed at the Democratic National Convention the Wednesday before President Obama was supposed to give his acceptance speech on that Thursday. Obama ended up coming in early on that Wednesday. But that Wednesday night was Bill Clinton's night to make the case for President Obama to white, blue-collar, working guys. That was his job, right? So who's going to fulfill that job for Kamala Harris? Is it going to be Joe Biden? Is Joe Biden going to, campaign for her and just say, look, let me tell you something. She is the real deal. She's going to come in. She's going to fight for you. She's going to fight for the union. She's going to fight for this particular platform. Are people going to vote their own interests, or are they going to get into the culture war and say, you know what, I'd rather have Trump back in office and just have everybody just going at each other every day? Because that's, bruh, what do you think Trump in office is going to entail?
Chaos.
It's going to be chaos. And the thing is, who wanna rock with that? Unless you like 300, like if you remember the movie 300, unless you just like 300, bruh, it's just we warriors, and we just going at it all day, every day.
I feel like the one thing that Kamala's going to do is she's going to even up the politics because he could only say so much stuff that she's going to be like, you see that? That's all he has. He
Right.
does. He doesn't have no diplomacy. He
Right.
doesn't have the thing.
There you go. There you go. There you go. And she just sit there and just.
That's
like,
all she gonna do.
Someone should have washed your mouth out with soap.
That's what she's
Long
gonna
time
do.
ago. You've been given so many passes, Donald.
Mm-hmm.
You've been given so many passes, Donald. But I know guys like you. You're a crook. You know, you know what I mean?
She gonna sun him.
Just gonna sit
She
there.
gonna sun him.
Just sit there and be like, yo, let's talk about the policy.
Right.
Let's not. Do we have to throw out the insults? Like, come on, bruh. You Mr. Smart Guy. That's what you tell everybody. Like, you can't, we can't use some words, man, to get your message across. Like, don't you want to
That's
win
it.
with your message,
She
or do
gonna
you
sun
want
him
to, or do you
bad.
want to win with the way I look? So now this is the second woman you gone against, and what's your record with women? You lost by 7 million votes to Hillary. You know what I mean? But you won the Electoral College. Do you even know what the Electoral College is, Donald? Do you even know that you didn't get you've never gotten a popular vote? Do you know that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you are having to pay judgments that jurors have determined for you sexually assaulting a lady in the dressing room, for you sexually assaulting a lady in the on the plane, and bruh, I have no idea what they're talking about. Like, all these folks just making up stuff only about you. All right, cool. But only when you say it. Only when you say it, bruh, because you certainly, the Central Park 5 was straight up exonerated, and you put a whole billboard and you advocating for the death penalty for some folks who didn't do it. Apologize to him right now. Who has challenged him to say, man, apologize to these people right now? These folks that was incarcerated and in prison, and that you was advocating for the death penalty for them. Apologize to them right now. You want to go in there and give law enforcement officers absolute immunity for going in here and killing folks like we just had the other day. You killed this young lady in Illinois, who came, called for help for an intruder, bro. And it turns out that this officer, who fortunately got indicted, but that's just the first step. This man, in 6 years, is already on his 6th police department, and he has 2 DUIs, right? But you want to give this dude absolute immunity to go in there and kill people. Remember when he was running the first time, talking about law enforcement, you guys are too nice to him. Like, when you're coming in, you need to be bumping their head all in the, as you putting them all in the car. So it's good if you think that you have such discernment that it's only you. Well, I'm a father too. You know what I'm saying? So to my children feel like I have pretty good discernment. But bruh, how are you the only one with discernment that you can look at a situation going on anywhere in the world and you decide right or wrong? But then when you look at it behind the, when you deeply look into it, it boils down to straight up race baiting with this dude. It's like straight up. Like, who's going to litigate that case? Like, Joe Biden couldn't litigate that case, bruh, because he wasn't all there. He couldn't litigate that case like a black female. Like, you remember how she sunned Joe Biden back in 2020 when they was running on that stage because of the position that Joe Biden had taken on busing? And man, she came in there and was like, yo, I was the first to do this. I was the first to do that. And you know what? I was that little girl. I was that little girl that you was like, what busing is going to, tear up the world or tear up the country and all this. Like, I was that little girl. Bruh, she's going to have, predictably, a moment like that. Problem is, or the one potential thing that I see is that when you're on that stage and that light comes on, people don't always respond the way you feel that, or you hope that they was gonna respond. Trump been on that stage, and the thing about Trump is that when he's on that stage, he doesn't care the question that's asked. He doesn't care like what it is. He's gonna say what he wanna say, and who's gonna check him? Like Cherie, who gonna check me, boo? Nobody's able to check him.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's able to check him. Will she be able to check him?
Oh yeah, she definitely. And then her husband's gonna work the white man.
The Jews.
Her husband's gonna work him.
The Jews.
He go work him, man. I'm like, she got it all the way because number one, people trust the black woman. All people trust the black. All these people, they trust the black woman. They
honest to a fault.
They honest to that. And it's gonna be at the end of the day, if people want to see things done right, they're gonna go to that.
And that's along the lines. Me and Teddy, those are along the lines that I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I give her 48. I didn't say 50 plus.
Mm-hmm.
I give it a 48 because the America is a racist country.
Mm-hmm.
America's a racist country. And being a racist country, I'm never surprised.
Mm-mm.
I'm never surprised when things, just historically speaking, when you've taken an entire people and you have wiped their brains. You know what I mean? Like
everything.
You have wiped away our brains where we don't know where we come from.
We are different species.
Just just to come in there and we just sitting in here and like, and I just think about the education that I received, growing up, man, and I'm thankful for, the Boys Club. I'm thankful for Bill Hodges. I'm thankful for folks who gave me books outside of the curriculum that I had, bro, because I'm in there looking like crazy. Like, black people, we ain't do nothing. Like, the white man saved us. You know what I mean? It's like the white man saved us, bro, and we're fortunate enough to learn his ways, his culture, and his knowledge. And now, bro, you fast forward and you talking about his knowledge, which was our knowledge that we taught them. And they turned around and flipped it and erased it and talking about, what library? Alexandria? What are you talking about? Why would Napoleon shoot off the nose of the Sphinx? Why would he do that? Like, you ever ask yourself, man, why would he do that? It is a crazy thing. And I think, Teddy, you said it the other day. There's nothing in American history where black people have gone out and massacred, folks. I would say the closest thing in this hemisphere would be Haiti. And look what's happening to this day to Haiti based on violent overthrow. Because that has been the thing that has set with white America for so long. I was doing research for a law professor, and he had me doing things when I was in law school, reading books by Winthrop Jordan called White Over Black, just in terms of just the psychological issues and how this education or miseducation took place, and believe it or not, a lot of it has to do with, brothers being heavily endowed, just, you know what I mean? Just packing. Jealousy. Straight up packing. Like, straight, brothers packing.
Their wife, right? The wife and the daughters. Their wife and the daughters.
Right, just saying that. And then, like, looking at some of the literature, right? Because in this Winthrop Jordan, it was like, it had, like, journals from captains and logs. It was keeping diaries and journals and stuff like that from folks. It was, like, real accounts of what was going on. And it was like 14-year-old boy, was serving. Like, I guess a house slave or enslaved person was serving, and the clothes that they gave, what we call slave clothes, it was like these thin, like linen, and they wouldn't have no underwear or no, you know what I mean? Like, they just be in these night shirts, and Bo coming, they touching the table. So, I mean, 14-year-old, and the person like write in the journal like, look how he's hung, like look how he's hung, and then you start seeing, what perpetuated slavery was the fear of the revolt, that should there be a slave revolt, they are coming straight for the women and the daughters. They're coming, basically all the things that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Basically all the things that they did when they say to the victor go the spoils.
Mm-hmm.
They've done these things and then turn around and be like, you gonna do them. Like they've actually dropped atomic bombs, but don't want nobody else to get an atomic bomb because they don't know how to handle it. But y'all the only ones that drop the bomb on somebody.
I mean, when you look at the name Dade County, Dade was named after Sergeant Dade, who was massacred in the Seminole War, and 1,500 of his people was killed. And this was a war that the Seminoles, which were Negroes, were fighting. And that's the element they don't tell you about. These successful, when you deal with the Maroons, every Maroon raid was successful, throughout these different areas. So they just don't tell you. And even Nat Turner's, he was successful for a little while. They don't tell you about all these different ones because that's what would give you
hope.
Hope, right?
They don't want to give anybody hope, right? And there's a problem with that. So to your point, Step, I would just say that if it was a fair election, and folks objectively said this what we doing, this what how we rocking, you know what I mean? I give her the chance I give everybody else. But there's also the LA effect. If you recall, the former mayor of LA, right, the first black mayor of Los Angeles, when he ran for governor, he was actually ahead in the polls. But when you got the results, he lost by like 6 points. And that was, so it was that effect, and that was the effect that, in my mind, I was looking at back in 2008 with President Obama. Like everybody was talking about, it could be that, I can't remember his name right now, but he's the first black mayor of Los Angeles. And when he ran for governor, he was ahead in the polls. Everybody said they were going to vote for him. But then, boom, when the results came, they didn't do it. We have a secret ballot. So that's where I feel like I won't give it over a 50% chance. Like normally, like I don't. If it was Joe Biden, if it was Joe Biden, if it was Joe Biden, bro, and he had a stroke, like the senator out of Pennsylvania, he would get 49% of the vote. He get 49% of the vote, and they say his doctor will come out and basically like, look, everybody gonna campaign for him, but he's gonna have to recover, and it's gonna take a few months before he's good. Man, still I think he'll get 49% of the vote because that's just how, how it goes down.
Me personally, I don't think it's gonna be close. I
hope you're wrong, but I'm not gonna bet against you.
I think this election is going to show you exactly one thing: white women. Who are they going to relate to?
But who they've always related to. The same people they have always related to, bruh. They didn't even relate to Hillary Clinton. Trump got more white women than Hillary Clinton did. So I definitely feel you when it comes to that, and and I would say for good reason. Like that's why folks got to come out there and roll for their tribe, because these dudes are the ones taking care of them, or at least historically and traditionally. But nowadays, man, women, bro, you go into the courthouse, bro. I would say there are more female judges. There, it's so women are coming out
women
like
run
with
the world.
with their own
what
stuff.
The test is gonna be I don't think she's gonna get more black votes than Biden.
Oh no, bro.
She's past that.
She's already
past that.
It's not even gonna be
We
close.
talking about the polls.
No, it's not even gonna be. Bro, it's not even. It's not even gonna be close.
Okay.
You know the thing is.
Oh, you know what? I just figured it out. I just figured it out. You know who Steph been listening to?
Who?
Your boy from Texas,
Who?
Charleston White.
Oh my God.
That's who. Yeah, see, look at her blushing. That's who.
Look,
he been on Charleston White.
All I'm saying is within this month right here, after August and September, it's going to be so like, she's going to make Trump look like a buffoon. And anybody who was rocking with Trump is going to ask themselves why. She's going to bring everybody back to basics.
Exactly. Think about it. That
that's
whole
the plan.
The whole thing about crooked, dirty.
Yeah, that's the
Biden
plan.
is done. It's out.
He can't
you know what I
come with
mean?
all
Like
that.
Biden's crooked crime family syndicate. The Biden, that's gone.
That's
gone, bro. That's gone. It can only come down, bro. It can only come down to. Okay, Donald, where's your platform? You said we're gonna get something from you in a week. It's been many weeks. Where it's at? The platform is whatever you thinking today is what it is. Okay, you want to do a 10% tariff. What's gonna happen with the 10% tariff? Right? How did that work the first time? Right? So now, what do you think that 10% tariff is gonna be passed through to the consumer? That just means that everything, like, I'm coming in and you got to take this medicine. Everything is going to be more expensive because I'm charging China 10% on everything they bring. And guess what? When you charge that 10% on everything they bring, they just going to raise their prices 10%.
That makes sense.
That's what's going to happen. They're going to
is.
pass it on to the consumer. And then you come in and say, okay, bam, bro, I'm coming in with these tax cuts. And they say they come in with the tax cuts and then they put that bread out there and it was like, well, where do I fit in with that? Right? Where do I fit in? Because if you're not making over $400,000 a year, then them tax cuts, when you hear that, they not really talking to you. They not really talking to you. You don't really have no money. You really don't have no money. If you're not making over 400 bands, you don't really have no money. So when folks out there talking about tax cuts, and then if you're not doing legal business, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you going to be able to come in and get some relief? So how you going to get more bank loans for your business or stuff like that? Like, it's going to be harder to plug into the Trump economy than people think. You got folks in there talking about $1,200 because his name was on the check, bruh. The man ain't get them checks out. Congress past that, man. But folks still like, hey, he gave me them $1,200. Man, bro, $1,200 ain't gonna get you through the week.
Yeah, they gonna figure all that.
And so after that, then you start talking about mass deportation. You start talking about getting rid of 11 to 12 million people. Then, bruh.
Once she drop her border plan, that's it. That's the only thing that we got to wait to see is her border plan. Because that's what people want to pay attention to. Everything else, she got it on lock. She gonna kill it.
Wasn't she supposed to been in charge of the border?
No, she was basically sent down there to meet with the border countries, Honduras, Nicaragua, Mexico, and try to have folks with the whole remain in Mexico policy. But remember, the guy that they impeached is the one, Alex Mazorga, whatever, the one that they tried to impeach, who is over Homeland Security. Like that's him, bro. What does the vice president do? She didn't propose, no legislation. She had to sit there and go with whatever he say.
I think y'all have to understand it's a difference between an informed voter and the narrative. The narrative was
she was the czar.
Exactly. That's the narrative.
As the dude just drew up articles of impeachment for her, basically calling her the border czar. So that is a campaign tactic that's coming out to, call her this particular thing. So how would she deal with that and just say, hey, you know what? I was a good and faithful servant. And here's me. When I was the vice president of my fraternity, when I was the vice president of the fraternity, you know, there was no distance between myself and the president. You know, and as I told the president, I said, listen, there is no such thing as a successful vice president. That's an oxymoron.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, how can there be, you know, a failed administration, but yet I'm taking a victory lap? I was a good vice president. No. You know what I mean? Like, my job is to assist you
Mm-hmm.
with whatever you have going on.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know what I'm saying? Now that I am the president, I have the ability to come and say, okay, here are the things that I want to do. Because, first of all, you got to show that you can lead,
Mm-hmm.
you know, especially like when you are dealing with, you know, you're talking about 350 million people, you know, in the country. You got to show that you're a patriot.
Mm-hmm.
You want to show that, hey, you know what, I got in line. Like, y'all remember the stuff that I was saying about Joe Biden when I was running against him and I challenged him? He brought me in the fold, and there has been no distance. There has not been anything that I've heard that's come out talking about, man, Kamala wouldn't have done it that way. Kamala wouldn't have done it that way. I don't know what this dude over here doing.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard any of that. And I think people will appreciate that the more, as Teddy said, the more she comes out here and puts her own plans out there.
Mm-hmm.
She put her own plans out there to say, bruh, what did Joe Biden do? Joe Biden did just that with President Obama. Joe Biden recommended against going at bin Laden. He recommended against it. President Obama took the info and was like, that was a decision that he had to make. He made that decision, say, nah, let's get him. Y'all got the intel, y'all get him. I live with it. Joe Biden was against it. You know, so I'm sure, you know, she can come out here now and say, hey, you know, I don't want to talk about that. You know, Joe was a great man and whatnot, but I'm here now. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to take the country. I want the place to be more diverse. I want the place to be good. Now, what she will have to do substantively is that she's going to have to take this DEI stuff like right head on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because otherwise the quiet stuff is being said out loud. So sunshine is the best form of what they say is the best form of when the insecticide people come in. What do you call that, man? When, you know, fumigation or whatever. Like, but they say that's the best form to bring it out is sunshine. Just come out there and be like, all right, cool. Let's see what they on. Let's see what they talking about, and let's get it out. So y'all saying that, you know, any person of color or any female or anybody that you know, checks a box or whatever, it automatically quotas. I mean, it's repackaged, bro. Like it hasn't changed. Like back in the day, it was quotas. You know, folks are like, I'm not in favor of quotas, right? Well, you come in there and say, hey, you know, I want the workplace to look more like the country. So if it's 12%, you know, black people in the nation, then why aren't there 12% on law enforcement? Why aren't there 12% in this and that, whatever. Quotas became like the rallying cry, you know. But when are people going to take accountability for the position that they put tens of millions of people in on purpose? It wasn't like you came in, you bought, you know, the best and the brightest, and then you was like, you know, here are these books and let's see what you can do, bro. Every time I see a person that got a 1600 on the SAT, a person of color, every time I see somebody that's like your boy Jaylen Brown, this man is a genius. This man is teaching at MIT. This man is teaching at Cal Berkeley. Like, this man is a genius. Like, where's the DEI stuff when it comes, you know, to those type of achievers? The two sisters that just came out there and solved the Pythagorean theorem. Mm-hmm. Folks is looking at them crazy like, man, how did you do this? Imagine if we had not gone through what we went through. Imagine what this society could look like. And as soon as we get the leader, I hope it's Kamala Harris, but whoever it is, as soon as we get the leader to come out there and start talking about our differences and say, yo, imagine where we would be if we didn't have slavery. Like with AI, who can put that into an AI program and be like, just tell us, what we look like in this industry if we didn't do this? Like where would we be? What would we do? Like what would, your ancestors' step be in production? You know what I mean? If they didn't have to go through what they going through, seeing all that you're doing right now, owning all your equipment, owning all these things, getting all these jobs, doing all this stuff that you're doing. If you didn't start from scratch,
if it was equality,
if you didn't start from scratch, bruh, just equality. like if you was to pass your son, your children, boom, they already starting off with all this stuff that you had to accumulate, and you had to come in there and you already giving them the knowledge on doing stuff. Like my kids, bruh, it was a whole year. I was a whole year behind going to law school with excellent grades because I didn't know any lawyers. You know what I mean? Like, nobody came in there and said, hey, man, you say you want to be a lawyer? Bro, you got to do this, and this. Nobody even came in there and told me that. So every time I go and I speak in elementary school, middle school, high school, law school, wherever it is, I come in there and say, bro, I'm going to tell y'all something that nobody told me. And I'm telling y'all this now. Here are the things you got to do to become a lawyer. Because I didn't know them. Right? So now my kids don't got to start back from there. They already here. They already know, like, hey, my dad is in the house with me every day. And this is what he's done. I've gone to court with him. I've gone to trial with him. I've actually seen him work. I've helped him on some cases. I've seen this. I know, what it means to do that. Bro, imagine hundreds of years of that versus going to law school, bro. When I went to law school, step, bro, you know what I'm saying, bro? I've never considered myself poor without means and nothing like that. So I'm definitely not going to come with that on my kids. But, bro, some of the kids, some of the guys and females that I went to law school with, bro, was pulling up in convertible Porsches. Convertible Porsches, bro, pulling up in $100,000 cars, coming to law school with, you know what I'm saying, they was already second and third generation lawyers, bro. Judges, lawyers coming through, whatever, man. That was just like, all I got to do is finish. All I got to do is finish. I got a job waiting for me. I got situations waiting for me in that setting, bro. So you can't, in my opinion, you can't come with this DEI stuff unless you ready to go all the way back. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready to go all the way back, to come in there from a historical perspective and start coming in there educating the population. Because they don't know. They don't all know, like, some people like, man, why black people just can't get it together? Why do black people, like, they talk like that? Why do black people, they can't read? Or why do black people, they come in there and say, ma'am, sir, do you know that there was a time where it was illegal for an enslaved person to read? And if a person was caught teaching them to read, this is what happened to them? You're like, huh? What? There's a huge lack of education in this nation, in this country. And I thought, we hope President Obama was going to be able to do some of it, but instead, the backlash from President Obama created Trump. Yeah. And everything that came from that, where people was like, our whole way of life is in trouble. And it's like, no, it's not. No, it's not, because the way this society is set up, bruh. Like, I was just reading the other day on Rockefeller, bruh. I was just reading on Rockefeller, and you talking about how much bread they have pushed forward from his era all the way down to where his kids, you know, and what Biden and what some of the other folks have been trying to do is basically saying, like, all this capital and all this bread that y'all have not paid taxes on because of the ways that you hide the money or the way that you shelter the money, you know, folks are not getting it. So they're like, what are you talking about? Wealth tax? A wealth tax? Oh, no, that's anti-American. Because how else can you have a person, when you hear of a trust fund, baby, you have a trust fund, baby, it's like, yo, you can go out there, you could do, like, whatever you want to do, and you don't have any consequences, really, because you technically don't own anything. Everything you possess and you own is under the trust. And you have a trustee, and that trustee can say, you've been a bad boy, and I'm just going to hold this back from you or whatever, you know, or you call it in, and person can send you 10 bands, 20 bands, 30 bands, 50 bands, send it to you a phone call away. And when COVID hit, what did we find out? We found out that many people who go to work each and every day could not get $400. $400. That's the real conversation that needs to take place. And Teddy, I hope we can have a conversation like that, because if it turns into this whole DEI hop tour, just mudslinging, that's not going, you know, like, let the people come out and decide from just policy, man. Let's just talk policy and let the chips fall where they may. Like, if it's a fair election, you already got somebody that's saying, unless I win, they cheated. Like, would you allow that in the sports teams? Would you allow that in anything with your children, where your children are already basically saying, like, yo, if I don't win, it wasn't fair? You know, like, man, bro, let's just turn the page on this dude.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what we're looking for.
That's promising. We shall see.
Mm-hmm. Each week.
Shall see. Y'all a lot more optimistic than I am.
Hey, I feel you, but like I said, I may be optimistic, but I'm also realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm realistic, and like I said, bro, things have happened, you know, in this country where, you know, and here we go. Here's Sean Grayson. This is the cop, man, who did it, man. So let's end with this, man. Let's end with this stuff. Wow.
I didn't know I had it. Yeah, I'm good. This fucking bitch is crazy.
Pulled up to the lady's house, done checked, saw there ain't no perpetrators there and whatnot.
He's got tape.
And you done popped the lady in the face, man.
I didn't know I had it.
You done blasted the lady in the face. 6th department, 2 DUIs.
They all sitting around like, he messed up.
And you know what?
We're not with him.
Shout out to Ben Crump. Shout out to Benjamin Crump, because, you know, the fact that he's put so much pressure on law enforcement and municipalities with the settlements that come after the fact. It's like, yo, at some point it has to trickle down to the, you know,
to the people,
to the folks on the ground. Yeah, it's like, hey, man, like,
something gotta change.
Is this the dude? Is this the dude that we about to go to bat for? Like, are we gonna go out our way to just circle the wagon when body cam done came out? And remember, you know, with Ben Crump them was one of the first ones to put the whole notion of the body cam out there.
This dude, number one, he ain't have no reason going in the house. So the fact that he turned his body cam off going in the house, he knew what he was going to do when he went in the first place. That's premeditated to me, because he knew, why is his body cam off? And you don't have no reason. When you said, hey, we went around the front and back, there's nothing. So you need anything, call us again. We know we're on your side. You don't got to go in the house. What you going in the house for?
The wellness check, like, bro, I almost got arrested. Them coming to my
Yeah, I
crib.
remember.
Yeah. Hey, you see how I know that? You see? Said Teddy T. You see how I know, bro? Because I'm out there, boy. I'm out there Kunta Kinte in it, boy. I'm out there I'm going to slam off, bro, about y'all can't come in there. And the lady was like, well, based on this particular call, yeah, they got you. Well, they basically said it's a domestic case. And being a domestic case, we got to go in here and check and make sure everybody's good. I say, okay, well, I'll be outside. I'll be outside.
You'll be outside.
You want to box over with somebody or you under
I
enemy
was like,
fire,
I'm glad
you ain't going to be talking about
it.
your race. You know, when y'all get out of that situation, this my brother. But it's like, bro, everybody knows what you're talking about. And that's what the implication is. And there's more to come. He's saying there's more to come. It's so disappointing, man, that this guy's been elevated, right, to go and put Floyd